Hello students, welcome to 4200 class. I apologize for not being there in person on the first day. This situation could not be avoided, and so I'm planning ahead as best I can and going over all of the syllabus information in a video. This one will be 10 minutes. It's going to be uploaded to YouTube so you can watch it again, and you can rewind it and you can listen to things over again, so hopefully it'll actually be a way to be clearer on the requirements. You'll also have all of these requirements in hard copy given out to you by my graduate assistant, Renee Ramsey, and if you have any questions, please send me an email, which is listed at the top of the syllabus page. You may also call my office phone number, but only when I'm in my office hours, which are listed on the syllabus, will I be available at that time. So really, email is going to be the best way to reach me. Again, I apologize. I am helping support a friend this weekend, and so I have to be there. So this is English 4200. The class is called A Writing Workshop in Creative Nonfiction. If you've not had a chance to take the 3200 class, know that this is in the catalog pitted along the continuum. So it's a development of the skills developed in your 3200 class. It's not a prerequisite for the class, but it will certainly help you if you've written some essays before. I am very excited to tell you all that this particular semester is the best in my years of teaching to take this class, because we have the opportunity to have a visiting professor in teaching with me, who is David Huddle. David Huddle has won several NEA grants. He's also been, he's widely published across the genre. He's got books of poetry, books of nonfiction, a wide collection of essays. I've been teaching him for years, and I'm really excited. He'll be coming into our class and talking to you about writing. He's also the author of the course text, The Writing Habit, and so you can ask any questions that you have about the essays that you read in there of him directly, which is an incredible opportunity for you all. So I'm really glad that you're taking the class this semester in particular. I begin the syllabus with a quote by him. It's from The Writing Habit, so you'll come across it in our reading, but it says, "The discoveries made through writing are liberating to the artist. If they are hard knowledge, these discoveries nevertheless grant the artist a permanent unburdening. Thus, personal liberation is the basic incentive for trying to write as well as one can." I'd like to tuck this quote in the back of our minds as we move forward in this course to remind ourselves that writing can be a process of discovery and of liberation, and of what might he mean by that idea of liberation? You might think of it in terms of whenever you learn something new, sometimes you can be liberated from the concepts of the past that were old, and maybe those kept you in some way inhibited because you didn't understand them, or because you had old ideas. One important clarification might be that you might be liberated from concepts of class. For example, you might think that because someone works at a gas station and only brings in $25,000 a year as for a whole family, they might have some sort of educational link, like that the amount of money that they make is connected to their education. And then you read a story beautifully written by a guy who works in a gas station and plays chess and reads Camus, and suddenly you're free of that old concept of class. There are many, many ways in which you could be free from that. You might have ideas about what money can and can't give for you in the world, can't do for you, and so writing about that can help you to become free from ideas that are wrong-headed and also that entrap you in some way. The catalog description of this says that you're going to be guided individually and as a member of a group through active criticism of your work. If you've not participated in a workshop before, that's very much the component that the course is going to depend on you making comments about your peers' work, and also about receiving the comments from your peers' work. We'll talk a lot more about building a dynamic of trust and support when I'm there in person with you, but it's going to be crucial that we give comments and constructive criticism in our workshop for this class to succeed. In particular, my course objectives, as I list in the syllabus, and you may read along with me if you want to, but it says that this course is going to focus on creative nonfiction, and nonfiction is a genre that employs literary devices in order to convey the facts of the world. And so literary devices like characterization and metaphor and plot development, all of those are going to be ways of organizing facts or information that you would otherwise research and get from an encyclopedia, from a medical journal. And then you present it in a way that there are people involved and engaged in it, and that the people who are reading it would care about it. So it's a lot about finding the compelling angles to access information. The required texts that we're going to use are listed on your syllabus. There is the In Brief anthology. I've been teaching this one for a while, so you may be able to get a used copy of this book. This is edited by Judith Kitchen, along with the In Short book. This is also edited by Judith Kitchen. This is what they look like. They are currently available in the bookstore. I've checked and made sure that they have them there. And they'll probably have used copies of both of those books. And then the third one, they're probably not going to have used copies of it, but they do have it available. This is The Writing Habit, and it's by David Huddle. That's the 3 books. I'm going to use all of them pretty equally. There's not going to be one core. I mean, The Writing Habit we're going to read most. We're going to read at least 50% of each of the texts as listed on the syllabus, and you can tell where the reading will be. You'll probably only bring 1 book per day, but you'll follow ahead. On the course schedule, when I list the reading assignments, that's going to be the day that the assignment is due, and so you want to come to class prepared, having read the assignment listed for that day, and you'll of course bring the book that you had to read that assignment from at that time. I also mentioned under the required readings that we're going to have a course packet. I'll make that available later in the semester if there are extra essays. David Huddle has a few new essays and unpublished works that he wanted to make available to us, and so I can make that put that on reserve in the library, or you're not going to be charged for that. And then access to the internet for us to use headphones or speakers so that you can listen to an internet broadcast of radio essays. We'll do that a couple of times throughout the semester, and you'll just listen to a few Radiolab shorts, radiolab.com. If you want to go there, it's just radiolab.com, and you can go ahead and explore that website and see what it's all about. They're audio essays. One more version that I'll use, there's the Moth episodes. We'll probably use some of those. We may integrate some of those on a casual basis, but those are YouTube videos. So just make sure that you familiarize yourself a little bit with the technology of listening to videos and sound files, and you have an environment where you can do that. Just a couple of times throughout the semester. It's not every week, but just so that it doesn't catch you off guard when we do have an assignment that's online. The grading structure is divided between the diagnostic essay. That's going to be a mandatory essay. It's 2 pages. It's due very early in the beginning of class. I have it listed on Friday, September 7th. The diagnostic essay is going to be mandatory, and it's ungraded. Basically, that essay is it's setting up a template so that I can compare your writing at the very beginning of the semester with your writing in the final essay that you turn in, which is going to serve as like in lieu of a final exam. So the diagnostic essay versus your final essay will serve as sort of, point A and point X on the continuum, and see how far you personally as a writer have come. I'm also going to review all of the essays across the class and see what particular essays, what particular strengths and issues and weaknesses that we want to address in the course to make sure that we develop those skills as a class together. So that's mandatory. You're not going to receive a grade on it, but we will workshop it in class. Then you have quizzes. That's going to be the bulk of your grade at 25%. I give reading quizzes at the beginning of class time. I do that instead of taking attendance. So the quizzes basically, they're a way of checking that you've done the reading and that you've done close reading. As I describe under the quizzes guidelines on your syllabus, I say that you review it at least once, preferably fairly close to our class time. And the reason I do this is not just so that you do well on the quiz, but so that you can participate actively in the discussion. And so if you've read it recently, then you'll be better able to do that. Also the discussion and discussion leading essay, that's going to be 20% of your grade. The discussion is a participation grade, and the discussion leading is a particular day that you're going to spend talking about a particular assignment that you've signed up for with a partner to discuss the comparison and contrasting themes that you've noticed in the two essays that you'll be talking about. There are in-class writing exercises. These will be writing prompts based on the reading that you've done, and that's 10% of your grade. And then there are two essays, two main essays. Essay 1 is 8 pages, Essay 2 is 6 to 7 pages. And they're both collectively worth 35% of your grade. Essay 1 at 8 pages is going to be a combination of different essays that you've written, flash pieces. So say 3 or 4 1 to 2 page essays is going to make up that 8 pages. So it's not just one single 8-page essay. It's going to be, several short essays. And as you can tell from the in short and then brief books, these are flash or particularly short essays. Some of them are as much as 2 and 3 pages long, and so those are going to give us an idea of how you want your own writing to be condensed and brief. And then the final portfolio and the final essay are basically a revision. It's a portfolio of your revisions that you're going to turn in on the last day of class, and then I'm going to review your final essay in comparison with your diagnostic, and that will serve in lieu of a final exam. Hopefully those items make sense. I'm going to go into further detail in a second video about this, and so please stay tuned for part 2.